What's up, guys? You're listening to the Breeze podcast where your word of mouth is our oxygen. I'm here with my boy.
John McCollum was good. Was good. Was good.
Um, I'm trying not to smile because we are working on a couple of different things. One of them are the fact that I'm just speaking BS right now because I can't think of anything to say, John. So why don't you
Yeah.
loop us in?
How about we run the intro and let's start with that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Breeze! Breeze!
Breeze.
Okay, bro, what's up? What's been going on in
Bro,
Calgary?
not much, man. I can't really say much. Like right now, maybe it's just it's fall, so like
Yeah,
I'm just trying to enjoy that. Trying to, because
nice.
right now it's kind of sunny before it goes into the winter. Because when it goes
Yeah,
into the winter, it's gonna be super rough, as you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm just trying to enjoy the weather. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
always writing songs, just trying to learn some new stuff,
Nice, nice.
brushing up on my Python again before your work
Okay,
starts. And
nice. Do you
yeah,
have
bro.
to do that stuff in your work as an
Yeah,
AI consultant?
yeah. So sometimes I might have to help out the data science team. So basically, like I think I explained last time, but I'll explain again.
Yeah.
So my job basically is like I liaise between the technical team and the client, which could be anyone, which could be
Mm-hmm.
whoever we're working for at the time.
Yeah.
And like so basically I'm like the business analyst. I'm the person that goes in
Mm-hmm.
and communicates with the C suite, their clients, go
Mm-hmm.
back and talk between like the data scientists and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to know how to talk data science talk, but I also have to
Yeah.
know the business side, which is cool. So
Yeah.
sometimes I have to like hop in and do that ad hoc analysis and actually do it. So
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm just brushing up and making sure like I'm as fluent in it as I can
Nice.
be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, bro. Like not much else. Like the weeks has been going pretty fast. You know what I mean? So
W- What date does your work start?
the 19th, I start in like in two
Nice.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So
So that,
how do you feel about that?
bro, I'm just ready. I feel good.
Nice, nice.
I just want to get into like doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
getting back into like
Mm-hmm.
corporate world a bit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
have some certainty in some stuff. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is I'm excited to get cracking.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Oh,
Nice,
but you,
nice.
how's your exam last week?
True. That was Monday, yeah. Last Monday, when you were listening to this. It was good. But it feels kind of unfair to say like, oh, this was good, blah, 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 because it was like, you had four options and it was 20 questions. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, sure, you had to know your stuff, but it's
What do
not.
you mean? What do you mean? Four options and 20 questions? Like
Yeah,
four questions out of
four
20?
boxes. So like statements or like graphs and whatever, and then it's a question like, as an example, if the supply of if we have a drought in Barbados and the supply of sugar gets cut in half, how would that show on the freaking
Got you.
demand supply graph? And then there's four different
This was
graphs.
micro econ, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
in that way, it was easy. I think I got 16 out of 20, so I'm happy with that because
Would you
they
say it was
public.
better than last time?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But I do think it's so weird because like in terms of like difficulty levels, the maths exam was a solid 98, where like in terms of like your first
Yeah,
university
yeah,
exam
yeah.
as well, which this was for a lot of us, whereas the microeconomics exam was probably in the like 80s, I would say, in terms of
I feel you.
difficulty, just because you didn't have to come up and write your own answers. But it's yeah, so that was nice. And I so now my sole objective now is like, I'm chasing my tail, kind of. I need to catch up on the data analytics course.
Got you.
So part
What are you learning in that right now?
so right now it's like stochastic variables,
Mm-hmm.
treating I guess like, looking at large data sets. And that's also why we're using our studio, which I messaged you about earlier because I was close to throwing my computer out the window because it didn't work. Um and it's so basic, John. Like you would laugh me hard in the face if you if you saw what I had to do. But for someone who's never ever done something like that,
Yeah,
it's not too easy.
I feel you.
Um,
I'd
no,
say
but
though, I'd say QuickTime, like especially when it comes to like analytics and like doing the coding and stuff like that.
mm,
98% of the time, you're probably gonna feel like throwing your laptop into like the ground. 98% of the time, it's fucked. Like, and that 2% when you get it, you know what I mean? It's like I
yeah,
got it. Because like most of the time, it's just like a small like mistake. Like you probably like
yeah,
put like a comma at the end when there's no comma or like some crazy thing, and then you like try to debug
uh-huh,
it, and it's like what's happening here.
yeah,
But then you actually get down and you figure out the analysis, and it's like
yeah,
okay, like that two
yeah,
percent feels blessed, like it
yeah,
makes up for like the ninety
mm-hmm,
eight percent. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but so I was actually thinking, like I was thinking about what I've learned this far that's like, I guess applicable or something that's worthy talking about in the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's something that we could lay out in layman's terms to our
Yeah.
listeners to provide some value. And I luckily we have this global challenges course. So in that course, we just recently started talking about corporate governance and corporate responsibility versus corporate shared value. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the first thing. What is it? 5 6 weeks now in this school where I feel like there's something of actual value that I'll bear with me long term. All right. So what I mean by that, first of all, John, what do we have on corporate social responsibility and corporate shared value?
What do you mean? What do we have?
What do
Like for
you know
brief.
about it?
I mean, I don't know much about it. I did like one like class in it, like
Yeah.
one session,
Yeah.
and it was like an ad hoc session. It wasn't really like
Okay.
it wasn't part of the curriculum, but
Mm-hmm.
basically like the values that a company have in terms for like the wider
Mm-hmm.
outside of just profit, outside of like the basic what business means,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
what values or what guidelines do you have as a company that
Mm-hmm.
basically is bigger than yourself, is for the
Mm-hmm.
community around you, is for society on a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say.
Yeah. So let me elaborate a little more on that. Milton Friedman was a popular professor and I don't know guy within capitalism. I would say he shaped the whole maximize profits type of thing. And he was arguing that a firm's sole objective is to maximize profit and don't do
Mm-hmm.
anything else, right? Because if you, let's say, if you as a firm chooses to go environmentally friendly instead of just maximizing profits, which might not be good for the environment, obviously this is way simplified, then you're essentially taking money out of the owner's pockets, right?
Right.
And so we got to study a few different articles, Harvard Business Review, Milton Friedman, something that he wrote in the 1970s, and as well as another really interesting article. So the only thing like our listeners have to know is the difference between CSR, corporate social responsibility, and CSV, corporate shared value, in my world. And I don't know
Okay.
if this is controversial or not.
And what's the difference?
CSR, corporate social responsibility, is where a corporation would seem to be environmentally responsible and like, okay, we're gonna go carbon neutral. We are,
Okay.
choosing this green type of thing or donating money towards charities. Okay. corporate shared value is where you build into a business model, building value for the company as well as the society. So as an example, kind of a bad example maybe, because but Tesla, you know
Mm-hmm.
electrifying the whole vehicles industry, and pushing that in a good way. Do you get what I mean? So to
Yeah.
me, to put this down like easily, is that if you create corporate shared value, which is something that has corporate value, like i.e. is good business and a good business model, not only profitable for the company but also beneficial for society. I think that that's like that's it, bro. Like
So
that's
so
it.
so like for our listeners, like an example of that would be, I don't know if you ever heard about Tentree.
Mm-hmm. No,
You ever
never
heard of
heard.
Tentree? So Tentree is like a
Tentry.
Tentree is like a clothing company. So their model is every article they sell. So if they sell a shirt, they'll plant
Mm-hmm.
10 trees. If they sell a pair of shoes, they'll plant 10 trees, and then they have like an overall goal in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like 1 billion trees by X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like compared to like
I would say
the
I was
airline industry, which is
yeah.
like they say they're net zero, their goal would be to be net zero, but like their
Mm-hmm.
main business is obviously doesn't care about the environment, but they plant like 1,000 trees and they're like, okay, we're net zero, but it's not really net zero, but more to like save their face.
Okay,
Um,
so what I would say here, I would say both of those things are in the corporate social responsibility sector, CSR, because like if kind of what I mean is like creating corporate shared value is as an example for the shoe company, it'd be like, okay, we've developed these shoes where you can own and use them for 25 years. Do you get what I mean? Not that that's possible, but that would be in more in line with what I'm trying to say. Or in the airlines industry, it would be Airbus coming out and saying like, we have a hydrogen driven jet engine now, so you can fly as much as you want with no emissions. Do you get what I mean? Because that would have tremendous value, hopefully, because it would drive costs down and be profitable, but it would also be good for the environment and etc. Does it make sense?
what would be an example of CSV other than Tesla?
Okay, so another example of corporate shared value, I would say, would be now. So as an example, I would say a lot of like renewable energy companies. As an example, I would say I would say like kind of like electricity driven fast train between major cities, as an example, developing that. So let's say I heard talks that they're developing a new high speed maglev train between what is it, I don't know, Washington and New York or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what that would do is, first of all, it would make, hopefully make more people take the train as opposed to fly, which gives less emissions. Because the train is so fast, it will be able to deal with more capacity, which hopefully makes it more profitable.
Okay,
Do you get what
fair.
I mean?
Yeah, I
So
got
I
you.
so it's less about offsetting and more about your actual business model being good for the future long term.
I got you. I mean, like I'd say offset, like yeah. So a lot of these other companies do a lot of offsetting, but like
Hmm.
where it's like built into your business model from day one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd see that more as CSV. So I'm just like pulling up
Mm.
like a bunch of different companies
Yeah.
that have that model. But
Yeah.
I'd say like, do you think it's possible from like your research that you've done? Do you think it's possible for a company that traditionally wouldn't be classified, categorized under CSV,
Mm-hmm.
to pivot and alter their business model? Have you seen like examples of companies like in your research have done that?
I haven't gotten that far, but what I would say is the reason why this caught my attention specifically is because in terms of long-term investing, and I think where you'll see like a lot of money to be made will be in CSV companies. Do you get what I mean? So
Yeah,
companies that
definitely.
are like imagine the next tech companies that are like that solves pollution and climate change and whatever, but are also like really good for society and extremely profitable, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like right now, I'm looking into just before I get back into my portfolio bag,
Yeah.
um, looking at ETFs, so like ESG ETFs, so like a lot of those socially responsible companies that have ETFs, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or
Yeah.
I've been looking at a lot of those. So I've been speaking to my boy, shout out to BJ.
Mm-hmm.
Back to your point, long term investment and
Yeah.
looking, not doing short, like
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
returns, but like looking into those ESGs,
Yeah.
ETFs. I think that's something to
Yeah.
look at for those
Yeah.
people that are about to get into
Yeah. Yeah.
investing.
Yeah. No, and I mean to with this said, like as an example, like if we take Patagonia as an example, they say that we do not want to make revenue more than 500 million. We don't want to sell any more clothes. We do not want to sell any more clothes. Like, if you want to buy our stuff, okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
nice, but like, we don't want you to consume more. Um, obviously, that's like I don't know, like what a lot of people think, but to me, that's kind of a hilarious but a baller approach to things since they're a multi-million dollar company. um but I think this with this said, the reason why I brought this up is because consumers are getting more and more aware of, like, investing in green funds as an example, or as you've been doing with looking into sustainable ETFs, towards that. So I do think that this is important, and yeah, that's yeah.
I just think it's like it's necessary, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and especially when you learn going to business school, you learn a lot about profit. You know what I mean? You're trying
Yeah.
to maximize profit,
Yeah.
reduce costs. You know what I mean? That's
Mm-hmm.
like the basis of business school. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good when they teach you, like it's not all about money, but you have
Yeah.
to look past that. So like even the course I was telling you about, it was like a two
Yeah.
day like seminar
Yeah.
about corporate governance. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
like I think is like to your point. I'm glad you have like an entire class about it because
Yeah,
I
bro.
feel
It
like
runs throughout the 3 years of my education, this
yeah,
global challenges.
I feel like
And it
that's
doesn't
important.
only deal with like environmental stuff, it's like, across the board, which is super, super interesting.
Not facts. Like I think that's important for sure, especially the leaders that go into these companies. You know what I mean that run these
Yeah.
companies. So like having that sense of like having that conscience, that's definitely good.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
No, no, no. I agree 100%. Um,
Yo, is this
that,
chopped up by the way?
I guess so. Why,
Yeah.
what is my microphone like?
What
I'm sorry,
I was
guys.
about to ask you, like, is
Yeah.
the cable good?
Yeah. This mic, bro. I'm this close into yeah, throwing it out the window. We're gonna name
Yeah.
this episode "Throw It Out the Window." There's someone, some
Facts, bro.
famous person or
Facts.
something, throwing something out the window or something.
Yeah, shit. What else we
No,
got?
no,
Okay.
but
Uh,
the last thing that I was gonna say, I guess, is chopped up. But in my McKinsey event, they
mhm.
talked 100% about sustainability and innovation. So
Yeah.
to me, if they talk about it and they're at the forefront of it, then obviously this is at the top of everyone's mind within this sector. And if it's at the top of most people's mind, then I think that's where we're going to see a lot of change, like a lot of obviously with climate and all that stuff. But yeah.
Oh yeah. It's true. That's facts. I
Mm.
think, like I said, to that point, I think is it needs to be for too long that we haven't that hasn't been like the focus. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
profit. So
yeah.
it's about time, to be quite honest.
John, do you know what I just realized? It's kind of nice just to talk on the podcast. Like we've had our segments and whatever, but
Yeah,
it's nice just
we've
to like
been programmed for too
directionless.
long, bro.
Yeah, I know, I
Programmed for
know.
too long.
You
Yo,
know,
okay, question.
yeah,
Have you seen the Donald Trump saga,
yeah,
like the
yeah, 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 yeah,
coronavirus thing?
yeah. Obviously, we have to talk about it.
Bro, we have
Um,
to talk about it, bro. Like,
so to recap, there was a debate between Biden and Trump,
that was last
and
Tuesday. It was
yeah,
a shit show.
and now Trump is sick in COVID and at the hospital. Actually,
Yeah, bro. He was at the hospital. Like, apparently, he had to be on oxygen like twice.
yeah,
So and his dog and they had to give him some drug that's apparently just for like severe cases
yeah.
of COVID. Um,
Yeah. No, no,
and
but
his
his
dog,
treatment, I don't dare to pull it up now exactly what he got, but essentially it's like what is it? It's babe, antibodies. He got antibodies,
yeah, yeah,
injections, 8
he
grams,
got
so
that.
8
He got
milliliters.
that. But then like that was like some antibodies that were like experimental or something, right? And
But the thing is though, John, like it- so if you think about it, like they've had this protocol in motion ever since. Every week they've probably updated it, and they've also had information from all the top drug manufacturers, whatever,
mhm,
whatnot, like what's the best, what's going on out there right now, you know.
yeah,
So like whatever he's getting, I think is important for the public to get to know what he's getting. But also I think it's extremely, you know, important, like if it is working, because the issue with this thing that he got is that some people might develop allergic reactions, and the thing that he got is it's stage 3 clinical trials at the moment, so they need to know like what percentage gets allergic reactions, etc., etc.
yeah, yeah. It's not like okay, that was a couple days ago, correct? Like he got that antibody.
Like 2 days ago or something.
Yeah. So um, today, like his daughter came and like addressed like some reporters and stuff.
Yeah,
Apparently, his like blood oxygen level like dropped. Like he had to be on like the oxygen machine like
yeah,
twice,
yeah,
like within the last couple of days. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Which is like okay, if you look at Trump, he's old, bro. He's like
He's
74.
old, he's more
He's like
obese.
he's the person that like the COVID like you're out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if you're in this, if you check these boxes, it's like
yeah,
yo, you're out of here.
yeah, yeah,
That being said, he does have the best medical care, like
yeah,
some of the best medical
yeah,
care, but
yeah.
still,
So
like
I so naturally, John, like first of all, some people wish he would die. I don't wish for anyone to die. Like I hope he gets better. You know,
sure.
it's I think it's well, he did kind of defend white supremacists
Oh yeah, bro. That we have
in the
like,
debate.
bro. That debate, bro.
and
Like,
and he also like kind of harassed Joe Biden and what his dad's son, and his son
bro.
who suffered drug abuse, like, you know, it
Here's the
it
thing, right? Here's the thing. Like Donald Trump had one objective going into this debate, right? It was
yeah,
not to talk. It was not to talk like it was not to be a part of the debate. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
his one objective was to be like, okay, whenever this guy talks, I'm gonna talk louder. You know what I mean? That's what
yeah,
Donald Trump does best.
yeah,
He is a loud talker. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I think Joe Biden, I mean, they both did a horrendous job. It was pretty bad. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
I
But
think
still, under pressure, like under that pressure, Joe Biden, I almost said Joe Biden, Joe Biden. It was like, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens in the vice president debate. I think that's this week. But yeah,
I would
it was horrible on both ends, bro.
I would say that for the Trump base, I think that they got exactly like what they wanted. So I don't think it matters how he behaved. In terms of like the Joe Biden base of voters, I think that they also got um kind of what they like. Now I would assume that debate is kind of for the undecided voter, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
if you look at the undecided voter and like how much more of a human Joe Biden looked like defending his own son and all that stuff as an example, and how much of a bully Trump looked like, because I wouldn't say it's the same Trump as in 2016 when he went against Hillary, right? I
sure.
I would say this was just like he was just bullying. Do you get what I mean?
That's what he does. That's what he does, right? Like he just
Yeah, no,
more
but I think
comfortable
I
now.
think I think what he should have done is just like if he would have been quiet and let Biden speak, then Biden would probably have tripped over his own words or whatever, looked senile or whatever. Do
Sure,
you get
there are
what I
like
mean?
two ways it could go. Like, there's two ways it would have gone. It was like he could have been silent and hope that Joe Biden like messed up over his words,
Mm,
and that would have been perfect for him. Or he could have
yeah,
been silent, and Joe Biden would have killed him. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
so I guess like his team was like, okay, let's weigh the pros and the cons. I think let's just go for it. You know, let's
Bro,
just
his
like
team has nothing to say. Like he's an uncontrollable beast, bro.
Bro, I
But
mean, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you can't say like he has people that he does listen to. You know what I mean? Like, he's
yeah,
not gonna be out here. He didn't win the election by himself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there was a targeted message. He knew exactly who he was going for.
yeah.
Like right now, he seems a bit desperate because he seems like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna come out on the other end of this one.
Yeah, I
But
just I just think that Joe Biden was the more presidential one in the debate. That seemed, but what I think
fair,
does not
fair.
matter at all because
But the
I'm
point is, what is presidential in the last 4 years? That you've seen like it. I mean, like I feel like it was probably the worst presidential debate I've ever seen. You know what I
mm,
mean? But to your point, like the standard of presidential
yeah,
is like if you're betting it, if you're doing it
yeah,
against Donald Trump,
hmm,
then he was definitely way more
yeah,
presidential.
yeah. But I do think that the Democrats put forth the right candidate though, because like Biden, he's pro capitalism. He is freaking like doesn't like Russia, doesn't like China. Like he's essentially the widest type of person that the most people I feel like would go for or whatever. So I think that's smart. And I also saw, I don't know if it was a headline or whatever, that they pulled all like the campaign content against Trump now that he's sick, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
Here's the thing. I think like Joe Biden is 77 years old, bro.
yeah,
Like, um, at this point, I think it's like, okay, is this like what's this the lesser of both evils? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're 77 years old, and
yeah,
you like if you're 77, bro, in normal like
yeah,
office, like in public sector as a public
yeah.
servant,
But
you're not working. You know what I mean,
why is there not an age cap? Like
bro?
how the F is there not an age cap of the
Yeah,
presidency?
bro,
Like it
like
should be
that's
like if you're over 70 years, you cannot run for president. Do you get what I mean? Like it's
bro,
insane,
it should
bro.
be like the same as any other person that works in the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you're a government employee the same way.
yeah,
Like after a certain age, right, you know you're going for a pension. You're not working
yeah,
in the government. You know what I mean? Like shout out to Justin Trudeau. He's like 48, and
yeah,
he's out here, bro. He's like the
yeah,
chillest like prime minister of all time. Then you
yeah,
look at like south of the border is like 77 and 74-year olds like battling it out. It's like a reality TV show. Bro.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not friending. Like,
It's crazy, bro.
but and then like these are the people that push the policies for like the
Yeah.
next generation. You
Hmm.
can't be 77 years old and be out here like on like the
Yeah,
Black Lives Matter movement.
yeah,
Like, it's not gonna happen, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I agree.
it's wild.
I
It's
agree.
wild.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
No, a
wild.
hundred, 100%. But
77, bro. Like
yeah,
that's like my grandfather, bro. Like that's
yeah.
crazy.
No, I know, bro. It's
That's crazy.
so old. But I think that in terms of, I do think like in the US, because it is such a capitalist system, like I'm 100% sure that there are a lot of people that essentially rule the country, but that we don't see.
Okay, yeah,
You
facts.
know, whether that be like big tech and the power that they have, or other strong actors and influencers. So I think like, now I don't know exactly how much the president do in terms of like getting things through or whatever, but in terms of long lasting power, I think there are other means to that. Do you get what I mean? In
No, I
terms of
feel that.
affecting outcomes and lobbying the government into passing laws and whatnot.
Facts. That's only true. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah,
you it's a capitalist state, like
yeah.
money runs a capitalist state. You know what I mean? Just look at
What's
who
the sentiment in Canada in regards to what's going on in the US?
sentiment that's around the world, bro. Like we're trying
Okay.
to like I seen like so many memes on like Twitter, like from like
Yeah.
Canadians, and they're you ever seen that meme when like they saw off like the U.S. from Canada and they pushed like that's what that's what it looks like. That's what's
Hilarious.
happening. They're like they no part. They want no, they hate to be sharing a
Yeah.
border with these guys, bro.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, just go by that guy is 77 years old, bro. Life
Yeah. It's
expectancy
it's
is
insane.
78. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
No, it
like,
is crazy. Like what,
it's crazy.
77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. Like what, bro, having a president that's 85 years old, like what, Trump is 72, like that?
Yo, I'm gonna pull it up. Like, we got the
Something
fact
like that.
checker.
Yeah.
We got the
No, but
Donald Trump is 74.
74, yeah. So
Jeez,
and his presidency when he's 78. And what? Then he has what, like a good 10 years left to live,
that's
or
crazy, bro.
but
I mean,
John, I really want to come to Canada for one, for my secret project. Two, because I
sure.
realized you live in Calgary, which is near Banff and has some amazing skiing and
I went to Banff. Banff is beautiful, bro.
nice.
It's gorgeous.
Um, so I really want to come like for a week, but obviously with this whole COVID thing, it's freaking. But
Facts. Yeah, this COVID thing is wild, man. Like we're like back east, like in Toronto, like they're now
yeah,
shutting back down again. So like
whoa,
wave number two, because
yeah,
winter's coming up. So
yeah,
they're like you were like allowed people in the restaurants and stuff. Now they're
yeah,
reducing capacity like even more. And
yeah,
then they're like now you gotta take like all your information. Like if you go into a restaurant,
yeah,
it's crazy. Like
whoa,
I went outside yesterday. I went to Tim Hortons, you know Tim Hortons.
yeah,
Like I went there, like we have one right across the street.
mm-hmm.
So you have to wear a mask when you go inside any building, any store. You have to wear a mask, right?
Whoa,
I pull up in this Tim Hortons.
yeah,
First guy in front of me, no mask. Guy
yeah.
behind me, no mask. I'm like, bro, I'm out, bro. Like this is a COVID like outbreak waiting to happen. You feel me? I
Bro,
was
no
like,
one in
no.
Sweden has a mask.
Are you
Like,
serious?
can you imagine? I was sick and I did not have COVID. I
Yeah, that's
literally,
crazy,
I
bro.
got fresher's flu. Tested, the test came delivered with a taxi. Had to stick it in my throat, like in the back.
Hmm.
Taxi came back, picked it up, and like
That's
negative. I
crazy.
was like, I was sick for nothing. Like, come
Bro,
on.
here everyone wear masks, bro. Everyone's outside. I try not to wear it. Like I try to go like to go to the park and stuff like to get
Yeah,
some sun. I'm not wearing it if I go to the park and there's no one around. But
yeah,
like when you're walking on the streets, if I show you outside the window right now, you'll see like everyone is wearing like a mask, like
yeah,
everyone. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because you can't,
yeah,
you have to wear it if you're gonna go into somewhere.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why it's weird being in Sweden, because you don't really think of the virus in that way because
that's
it's not
crazy.
like really present. Oh, whoa. Last thing, John, before we
Mm-hmm.
end, I believe we had a battle about who was the best boyfriend last week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I bought my beloved girlfriend a $500 air purifier.
I mean, I'm glad that you care about her lungs, bro. Like, I mean, That's nice. That's nice. I mean, we got clean air, so like I don't gotta worry about it and all
You
like our
think
ears.
you got
Nah, the
clean
ears.
air
I got it tested
until
still, bro. So it's like
until
I
you
got it
get
tested.
no,
So
but
it's like
honestly though, I bought it because of health reasons, because of yeah, we also have a jungle. I realized that it's not my place to lay out my girlfriend's health on the podcast.
fair.
But as long as you know that I'm not crazy, I obviously like. But the thing is, like, it's really nice. I might do a review, a tech review on it. Get
What type is that?
Electrolux, bro, bro. Do you know what's coming tomorrow in the mail?
What
My Visa Infinite metal 18-gram business card from Revolut.
Oh, that's nice. That's
So my
nice.
life dream of having a personal metal black card
That's fire.
and a business black card metal is coming to life.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. Revolut, they slowed down like operation in Canada, so like
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm with this other company until,
yeah,
but their mallet card is kind of ugly, so I'm not gonna get it until like I can get the Revolut one.
yeah, yeah,
So that's good look though.
yeah, it
That's
is.
good look.
But the only reason I'm saying we should end the podcast now is because if the file is too big, it's just a pain in the ass to send it to our editors,
Yeah,
etc.
fair, fair. Bro, we'll link up, man. You already
Yeah,
know, G.
yeah.
Well,
Peeps,
yeah.
thanks for listening.
So, homies,
We
we're
love
out.
you.
Always
Bye.
later. Peace.